Well, good morning, trekkers. It is about 6:45 a.m. Sunday, March 20th, 2022. Standing out on a very frosty 29-degree morning. A beautiful morning as we'll get to watch the moon set and the sun rise. You don't get that opportunity too often and you have to wake up a little early. Today's hike is going to take us from this parking lot right here, which is just outside BroadHead, Wisconsin. This is the Pearl Island Recreation Corridor, a nice little trail that travels along the Sugar River and goes up into the Headwaters Park, or Gatewaters Park. We're going to find out later on today. We have ourselves a little, around about 11-mile loop that, of course, as you're used to with me, makes use of both road and trail. The centerpiece of which today is going to be a rustic road. I forget the number, but it's called Park Road. Interestingly enough, it doesn't go through a park, but it goes near a park, but it should be really pretty. Like I said, it's an 11-mile loop. The road is probably about 2.5 miles of it, but we're going to go on a rustic road today. So stick around and let's get going before it gets a little too cold out here. Besides, the birds are a little upset that I'm sitting out here, so. Well, the first part of the journey, there's a song in there. First part of the journey. Anyway, the first part of the journey takes us from the parking lot, and it's about a mile along Decatur Road until we get to Park Road, where we are going to find out what the rustic road number is that I have forgotten. Interestingly enough, Pearl Island is actually an island in the Sugar River, and our hike takes us from the eastern part, the split of the Sugar River, and we just crossed over the bridge of the western part, and now we are off into the farmlands on the other side. Shortly we'll hit that Park Road and make our way north. What a beautiful morning. We are getting a sunrise. You can hear cranes out in the fields. There's herons out in the wetlands. There's woodpeckers, birds of all various sorts. It's going to be a very pleasant day. It's supposed to warm up to about 48 or 58 degrees today. It will not be that by the time this hike is finished, but I love days like this. They start off nice, crisp, and cool, and they don't get too warm. And if you get an early start, you can actually do some filming before the cars and people start arriving. And I'll talk a little bit more about that later on. Now you know why it's called Park Road. A very small little park. Just this little setting we're on here in a gravel parking lot. You can get down a little bit if you want to be a little hazardous. They're not actually marked trails. Fishing is prohibited. I don't think you're going to try to dig a canoe down that, but it's a nice little place to hang out. Very pretty valley. Yeah, it looks pretty good. What's really cool is, I'll show you a little bit here. On the other side, over there, is that same park that the Pearl Island, well, basically Pearl Island Park is just right over there. And what they're planning to do, they already have the one trail that goes through. They're planning to make some other trails, and they've started it. And I don't think it's officially open, but they have a number of little trails that wander through the wetlands. I don't know that it'll come this far back, but they do have that in mind. And I can see right down there, can maybe make it out, there is a wooden bridge that crosses a branch of this river, maybe a creek that flows into it. Now that might be private property, but there are going to be some trails that wind around down through the wetlands there, which during the dry months would be really pretty cool. I don't know that they'll come this far though, but looking forward to seeing how that shapes up over the next couple of years. It looks like there's a boardwalk over there as well, so I think there might be some trails already in motion back there. Something I'll have to do a little research on. Very neat. All right, so figured it out. Right down there, that is the very north end of the Pearl Island. So the trail ends right there, goes all the way back to that parking lot we're at. And on the other side of the river is the Three Waters Reserve. So that is public land. And boy, it sure looks like there's a trail that goes around in through there. So that is something to check out. Walk away. Oh, a little bit more than 4.5 miles in on the morning. I've left the river valley behind. Got up kind of on the top of the bluffs, walking past a small subdivision of very large homes. And I think we'll be turning a corner here shortly for about the last quarter mile of the road. After that, we have a good solid 2 miles of more road walking, though not quite as pleasant. It's on a county road for at least a mile, and then another mile of a back road, but a more heavily traveled back road before we hit the Sugar River Bike Trail, recreational trail. Going to be a little difficult to see, but that whole field out there, you can see the little black bumps. Those are all sandhill cranes out in that field. You can hear them. Oh, there's some chickens over there too. Those are geese. Okay, so they're not all sandhill cranes. There are a number of sandhill cranes out there along with geese and the local chicken. Pretty cool. we walk along County F, let me ramble on a little bit and I'll explain a state of mind and describe a rather uncomfortable observation. This is a busy county highway, County F. There's a car every minute or less, as you can hear, coming up on us now. And that kind of traffic allows for zero opportunities to take your regular kind of videos that you'd like to take. You can stop, take a picture now and again, but it's just neither safe nor, I don't know, it's just uncomfortable actually setting up to take a shot. Even doing this kind of video, talking to a camera when there's a person not 200 yards in front of you. But, you know, I do go where other people generally don't go. That's kind of my shtick here, and one of the things I try to show through these YouTube videos is that you can get out in places you wouldn't normally think of and make your little mini day adventures. And because of that, I get a lot of looks. And, you know, people will wave in their cars as they go by. Most people do. People that I walk past, sometimes they'll actually stop me and talk to me for a few minutes. And those who do generally understand what I'm about, what I'm doing. It's a little different, but I think it's pretty cool. Sometimes they're really happy to know that somebody else thinks their little spot of land is just as pretty as they think. And it's rewarding. But having said that, I mentioned I do go where most people don't, and I take pictures and I shoot video where most people don't. And it occasionally brings different kind of attention. Not very often, but I have been to BroadHead down here. It's not far from where I live. Probably, I think this is trip number 6. And 2 of those 6 times, including today, I have been monitored. Yeah. That dude in a black hat, sort of the Walter White black hat, is scoping me out. I have about a mile to go before I disappear on the bike trail. I will be glad to get there. So you're asking, what does this guy want? Well, I don't belong, right? If I were young and pretty, walking around with a camera, most people go, oh, okay, young kid, doing their millennial thing, whatever. But my age, my demographic, I'm just supposed to disappear into the background. And when I don't, it gets noticed. And there are a lot of people, especially these days, who protect their turf. And he's checking me out. He wants to make sure I'm not going to blow up the dam. I'm not going to rob somebody's house. Some crap like that. It's a bit of derangement. I don't know. Am I worried? Not really, no. There's enough houses around here. And the people of BroadHead are very friendly people. It's a nice place. Whew, that was a hill. So no, I'm not too worried. And I've had it before. The most memorable time was up in Oconto County, yes. where I was actually off on logging roads, 2 tracks, bushwhacking. Great video. You gotta check that one out. But as I got back out, I met a guy in a gator, and we had a good half an hour talk. And he grew up there. His family had been there for 4 or 5 generations, and he knew the changes that those woods had gone through, and he knew I was there. He knew I was there from the moment I parked to the moment I walked into the woods. And he wasn't looking for me, but he knew that he knew that eventually I'd come out and I'd be on that road. He just knew what I was going to do. But so in that case, I was sort of being monitored, but the guy left me alone. He left me to do my thing. Didn't even bother to come look for me. This guy, though, I don't know what it is. This is the only place down here in BroadHead where I've actually, I don't want to say I'm stalked, but where they definitely were monitoring me, watching me. I don't get that. Don't get it all. Look at these guys. Aren't they cute? Hey there, guys. How's the mud today? All right, so he did drive by, and this time I got a wave out of him. So maybe he'll call back to HQ and let him know I'm a non-combatant. Taking a break on one of those things on a bridge over a creek here. And you can see out there a little substation. 2 miles ago, that's where I was at. We're right about 7 miles right now. And I will say that my body could be performing better. It's kind of a rough day. I'd say I'd give the body a C+ today. The lower back is really tight and the legs just will not loosen up. Got about 4.5 miles to go. I'll make it. Just gonna have to do a lot of these kind of impromptu breaks and some standing stretching along the way. Pain management. Alright, almost to the end of Decatur Albany Road, and I'm hoping I can skip across the ditch and pick up the bike trail. Otherwise, I'm not quite sure how I get there without walking down the county road for a bit. And it seems like Walter White, the grand defender of BroadHead, has decided to leave me alone. So hopefully I satisfied his curiosity enough and won't be bothered. And that bike trail, I'm expecting to be a bit mucky, but we'll see. We've had 2 days of rain, sleet, and snow, and it's March. But yeah, this is where we're going. Well, the trail is in pretty good shape. I'm not sinking in at all. It's a little soft, but you see I'm hardly even leaving prints. Pretty good, pretty good. I'm glad of that. I don't really want to destroy the trail. We're going to be on this trail for another 1.5 miles or so here. It goes past a private campground over there and around a golf course and a subdivision that's part of the golf course, before finally dropping off to, I can't remember the name of the road, but we'll walk that road for 1/4 mile, a little bit more, and then Gatewater Park. Short little walk, from Gatewater Park to the lower dam. You can actually cross the dam and we'll be back over onto Pearl Island. And making our way a little mile or so on that trail, 3/4 of a mile, I can't remember, and we're back to the parking lot. Just crossed 10 miles, 4 hours and 15 minutes right on the button. Yeah, and I've felt better. Energy levels kind of up there. It's not great, but aerobically and brain-wise, I think I got many miles left in me, but my back and legs are not cooperating with that whatsoever. And it's disappointing because I've taken plenty of breaks. Even one of them where I laid down for about 10 minutes. And they all seem to help until I get up and start going. Just really kind of hurting unit. But we have about 2 miles left to go, maybe. Something like that. Oh, at least. I'll make it. I know how to deal with this. It's just, it isn't always so fun. Alright, we're almost to the end of the bike trail. We'll pick up about a 1/4 mile road thereabouts. And we're at about 11 3/4 miles right now. 11.79 actually. So a little bit longer hike than anticipated. It's going to be right around 12. And that's alright, you know. Between going back and getting the camera, I was pretty close on my estimate. So that'll work. And yeah, we're soldiering on here. It's been a really pleasant hike. And yeah, we'll finish this off, but there's still more video to shoot. The path along Pearl Island is really nice. Here we are. Now, at various times in this video, I called this Gatewater Park, Headwater Park, and each time I was only half right. It's Head Gates Park. So we're somewhere in the neighborhood anyway. This is a small little park. It just has some picnic areas and a lower dam that you can cross. What a beautiful, beautiful little park. And here, this trail and this little island at the very north end of it, which we saw on the other side. We're not going to go there now. It goes all the way up to that dam we saw earlier this morning. Probably won't shoot a whole lot more video on the way back. It's a pretty busy trail, as you can see. I'll take some pictures though. But I guess we'll kind of close it out here with 3/4 of a mile to go. Had a gorgeous morning for this hike. The body didn't cooperate, but the weather certainly did. And our friendly neighborhood protector left us alone after about the halfway point, a little bit more than that. So no worries there. And you know, what makes us an adventure, right? I mean, all we did was kind of wander around the countryside. But if you stop and think about it, what did we do? We walked along a bike trail, a rustic road, went through 3 parks, crossed a dam, went across a covered bridge. Yeah, I'd say we covered a lot of ground. To me, that sounds like an everyday adventure.